The East Sooke Fire Hall is a beautiful piece of history. A 1956 2.5-ton International Harvester 4x4 whose entire life has been spent on southern Vancouver Island fighting fires. Its call letters are 764. Born on August 8, 1956 in Chicago, Illinois, 764 was purchased by the Navy for use at the Patricia Bay Seaplane Base, now known as the Victoria International Airport. 764, then known as 16053, was used as a light attack truck at the airport until 1970. Vern Edwards, fire chief at the seaplane base in the late 60s, remembers it.
Now, it first started out when we got it, it was bare. And why, for some reason, they call it an American model. I remember that, international. But they call it, the two of them, American models. They had different 18-inch wheels instead of 20 or something as well. Yeah. Anyway, the first thing they did is, I think they put a 200-gallon tank on it with nitrogen bottles to, say there's 10 gallons of foam, liquid. It'd be metered through the water and then air aspirated at the nozzle to give you the foam, which is roughly 10-to-1 ratio of expansion, called a mechanical foam. It's made mechanically through the inducement of air through the nozzle. And then they changed it and they put a dry chemical tank on it, a 900-pound, what's called Purple K, which is potassium-based. Best dry chemical on the market at the time. And it was also compatible with our foam. It didn't break our foam down like some dry chemicals will. Yeah. And it was a rapid attack. It was the first one in, and you'd set your nitrogen bottles off, which would be the pressure for your dry chem. And of course you'd sweep it out. The motion, you keep the action and knock it down. And then your foam tender's coming in behind it. And of course blankets everything so the vapors can't come up again and reignite. And plus, dry chem has no cooling power, where foam has, because it's water-based. Our average incidence was 30 calls a month. So but most of them, yeah, but one a day. But what happened was, you get a call from the tower that somebody's coming twin engine, but one engine out. Yeah. So and that's you, out we go, and we visit, get our crash positions, and nothing will happen. Even Air Canada, DC-3 or something in those days, coming in quite often on one engine. Made a beautiful landing. Yeah. Or else somebody'd, as you see some of these pictures, went sailing off into the grass or something like that, you know.
From the airport, the truck was sold to the Langford Fire Department, where its four-wheel drive became useful as it was an off-road bush truck for fighting fires off of the beaten path. Langford acquired the truck in 1970 for $278. Taking on call letter 704, the truck served the Langford area well for over 13 years, although in 1971, 764 took some time off after an incident that put it in the shop for a few months. A Langford firefighter turned a little too aggressively at the intersection of Sooke and Jacqueline roads and put the 4x4 on its side. No serious injuries occurred, but the truck was out of commission for a while extensive bodywork was performed. In 1984, 764 was sold to the East Sooke Fire Department, where it still resides. The truck had been well used and was in less than ideal shape, but volunteers from the department got together and transformed it into the cherry that it is today. Deputy Fire Chief Phil England explains what was done.
Body-wise and mechanical-wise, it wasn't a very good shape. It was going to be used as a command unit to start with, and basically the straight six motor it had originally was thrashed and obsolete. They'd replaced it with a rocket motor out of a Pontiac, and that being the Pontiac motors were kind of obsolete, but we changed and put a 350 into it. The box isn't the original on it. I think it's off of something around the 40s vintage. I chopped and modified the rear fenders and the cabinet work a bit, and basically as it is, it's fairly stock, the front end, and cab-wise.
The truck is engineered according to 1956 standards, and it's goes okay, but it doesn't stop very well, so we have to be careful with that. Treat it as you would an old-fashioned truck. It's used as a light attack vehicle. It has a 500-gallon water tank on it and a small portable pump. It's primarily utilized for fighting bushfires, but it could be called on any other kind of call, search and rescue calls, motor vehicle accidents. It has a good set of lights on it, so we often use it for just a lighting truck at night.
764 has proved its worth at every department it has served. But 42 years of service and a constant need for new technology have left her days numbered. A new truck may soon replace 764 at the East Sooke Fire Department, but to many, 764 can never be replaced.
With the driveways and the terrain, four-wheel drive is a definite asset, and the old 764 has definitely pulled its weight.
It's still a good old 4x4, still goes any place we need it to go. It's one of the dependable trucks when it snows around here. The other trucks won't go, this old one will.
It's good in this area because you can go up anywhere with it. It's a little bit skinnier than the other trucks, and at times it's been the only one that started.